outrageous reveals on paternity court.
The other guy is because I've talked to his family.
Oh, believe. Let's write that word down. Believe. Believe has no scientific basis.
We wound up getting threesome in my backyard.
A threesome in the backyard with your friend's wife.
The first case concerns a polyamorous marriage that resulted in polyamorous cheating.
Ms. Campbell, you're in a relationship with both Mr. Rogers and his wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
You all live together.
Yes, Your Honor. We all live together. We all sleep in the same bed. We got 3 boys, me and Angela. Me and Gracie have a 2-year-old son and maybe a 3-week-old
and the child in
daughter.
question.
And Mrs. Rogers explained the situation like this.
He was there. He's the one that gave me away, so it's not like it was forced. And as far as the relationship between me and him goes and bringing her in, the relationship, he's a man and he wanted it just as much as me.
Listening to this, Judge Lake jumped on the doubt part.
Angela had went to Phoenix to pick up my mother, and I had told her about the swingers club that I used to go to, and we had wanted to go there, and she agreed.
Between both of us drinking a lot, we ended up in the back in one of the rooms that they have set up. We ended up having relations with this guy that we don't even know.
You both have sex with this guy?
Yes,
Your Honor.
Without protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
When the judge inquired about Mr. Rogers' relationship with the baby girl, he stated this.
Do you feel like she's yours?
I want her to be mine. I see her every day. I try to spend as much time with her as I can. When I get home from work, she wakes up, I get her.
Even after you knew all this, you still come home from work, and that's what you want to do is spend time with your baby girl and your children.
Yes.
On the other hand, Miss Campbell had brought in a conception calendar, hoping that the child would be ruled as Mr. Rogers.
Approximate date of conception, and it's listed here as September 11, 2013. And this is from your doctor.
Yes, Your Honor. In my heart that I did mess up. I did. And I didn't mean for all this to happen. But I want him to know, of course, you might not be the father, but I hope that you are.
Then it was revealed how Mr. Rogers discovered the cheating in the first place.
I mean, it's my fault for not telling, don't get me wrong, because I should have told.
Well, you were in
upfront.
this too.
But she was the one texting her friend on Facebook and left her phone open, and that's how he found out.
Polyamorous relationship thing, then you got poly cheating. That's another thing. You guys got a
Exactly.
lot going on here. You got him in a relationship with you all. You both cheat. You gonna blame her and say she's the one wrong because she left her phone out.
Yes, preach, Judge. But wait, things were not that simple, as history seemed to be repeating itself.
What you've done is tearing the entire family apart.
My point of view is I hurt my best friend. He is my best friend.
This is your teenage son, whose
Your Honor.
paternity is also in question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers, who raised you, you know him as dad, may or may not be your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you want the answer to that mystery today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let's get the results.
Mr. Rogers, you are her father. Mr. Rogers, you've waited 18 years for these results, and the wait is over. You are his father.
These two friends are in Lake's courtroom after just one night of passion.
Ms. Ware, you claim that after one night of passion with the defendant, you ended up pregnant, but he is now denying paternity of your 3-year-old son, Ayante. You opened your case to prove he is the father because you are tired of raising your son alone. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's how it all began.
I met him 8 years ago, passing through the city. We would hang out with each other. He was my gay best friend, you know.
Oh, your gay best friend?
Yes.
Take me to the night where things shifted.
Give him some drinks, hold up and chill, little Netflix or something.
When you do your neck like that, that means you up to something.
But Mr. Wilson was not ready to take on the paternity responsibility.
I'm not the father, Your Honor. She's been with multiple guys. I'm not the father, Your Honor. I'm not gonna take that lie.
Wilson says you were dating other guys. Were you dating other men at that time?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Were you sexually active with the other men?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Were you using protection with those men?
Some I was.
Some? How many other men?
3.
3 other men besides Mr. Wilson.
So all 3 men were tested, and none were found to be the fathers.
0%. So that's 3 men tested.
Yes, Your Honor.
3 men determined not to be Ayante's.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say Mr. Wilson is the only other possibility.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, when the judge asked the gay best friend, who was the baby's mother and was presenting him as the father, he said this.
Wants you to be the father because you're so close and she's always had a crush on you. What do you think her motive is for saying that you are her
I think
child's
she's just trying to
biological
use
father?
me, Your Honor, honestly.
To use you?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Oh.
think she's trying to use me.
No, Your Honor. It's
They trying to
nothing.
use-
Wait, use you why?
Because she see that I moved away from Tennessee and done better with myself, been gone
And Your
almost 2
Honor-
years, and now she's trying
No.
to pin a child on me.
No.
Listening to this, Miss Ware got emotional over the whole situation.
4 years I've done this all by myself.
Is he doing okay? He's 3 years old.
Look at him. Yeah, he's doing great. This
Does
is
he
my
wonder
baby.
where his daddy is?
No, he don't ask about no daddy. He asks about me. I'm all he knows.
So he never even asked about a daddy?
No, he
That's
asks about me.
unfortunate. Well, that lets me know the stakes are, in fact, very high when a child doesn't even ask for a daddy. All right, I believe I've heard enough. It's time for the results.
Yep, indeed, it's time for results.
Mr. Wilson, you are not father.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
We now know that there has to be at least another man out there. You've had 4 men tested. Do you have any idea who Ayante's biological father is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why didn't you mention this person in your testimony?
Because he's deceased.
Miss Edwards believes her 20-year-old daughter is the result of her infidelity due to a cleft palate.
You're here to solve a 20-year mystery and prove that the defendant fathered your daughter, Brianne, who is joining us from her hometown. You say you are tired of his denial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris, you claim that you've always known that another man is Brianne's biological father, and you are here to set the record straight.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's go back to how this happened in the first place.
What was the nature of your relationship with the plaintiff before she got pregnant?
Years ago, I run a little garage in a small town, and her husband, I got to know him. We wound up getting threesome in my backyard.
A threesome in the backyard? With your friend's wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Quite a revelation, isn't it?
Did you tell your husband this could potentially be Mr. Morris's child, that you thought it could?
No, Your Honor, I did not. I thought it was my husband's all along. The operating table, brought her around the curtain.
When you birthed the baby, you say they brought her from around the curtain after they got her.
Right.
She bent that corner and you said, there goes Mr. Morris.
I said, uh-oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh, indeed. Huge uh-oh, I must say.
That was your reaction
Yes, Your Honor.
to your new baby?
Yes, Your Honor.
The first time that I was told she could be mine was the one that Brianna was around a year old, I think. Pretty sure of that.
They come and tell you she's pregnant, but they don't ever let on to the fact that it could be yours.
No, not then.
So how did Miss Edwards tell you specifically that she thought you were Brianne's
I
biological
don't remember
father?
exactly.
That's a good reason to doubt paternity.
When you said you saw Brianne and she had the cleft palate, you thought immediately it was Mr. Morris.
Exactly, Your Honor. The reason I thought he was, or knew that he was the father, was because he had mentioned to me at one point in time that he had a rare blood. The mother of his children was, had to have shot whenever they were pregnant.
Why, or else what?
The baby would be born with birth defect.
Things got tricky at this part, so the judge had to call in an expert who explained things like this.
Positive father with an RH negative mother can have a child who is RH positive. And if the mother does not receive the shot, the RH immune globulin, she can develop antibodies that attack that baby and cause disease. But it has not been shown to cause birth defect like a cleft palate.
All right. Mr. Morris is your child's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
But the potential fathers, on the other hand, have this to say.
Yes, ma'am.
After hearing this testimony, have your thoughts changed? Has your position changed?
No, ma'am.
You do not think you're Brianne's biological father?
No, ma'am, I don't.
What are your hopes today?
If I am, I will hope to be a father figure in her life and her be a daughter figure.
And this definitely calls for results.
So these results are more important than ever to this young girl, and I want you to get them right now. Are you ready, Brianne?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Morris, you are the father.
In this case, an ex-Marine is looking for a paternity test because of his wife's serial cheating.
Say you could be served divorce papers at any moment because your promiscuous past has caused your husband to doubt your 2-year-old son, Bentley. You petitioned the court for a DNA test in hopes to save your marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Holland, your wife is an admitted serial cheater, and you doubt you're her son's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Holland testified about her crumbling marriage like this.
He's the rock in our household. He's the foundation. He's a loving father to our son. I don't know what I would do without him financially, emotionally, mentally. He is everything to the both of us. I don't know what I would do without him in my world.
So there's a lot on the line.
Yes, Your Honor.
You feel your marriage crumbling
Yes.
right under your feet.
Yes, Your Honor.
She admitted to her past transgressions like this.
So you know you've been out there cheating.
I've been texting other people, but I have never, not one, ever slept with anybody else.
So, Mr. Holland, is your marriage on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell the court how.
Everything in my life is connected to my son. He's my rock. He's everything to me. And I don't know what I would do without him.
After this, the judge asked the alleged baby daddy how they both ended up being together.
We were 12, she was 12, I was 14. We met through a family friend. We've been best friends our entire life. We've always been one who helped me find my path from my transition from being in the Marine Corps to being a civilian.
And that does sound lovely, but it quickly devolved into the ugly cycle of infidelity.
Some people that I was talking to that were male, he didn't approve of, but I continued talking to them anyhow, and he constantly caught them on my phone, their names, is because my promiscuous past.
And all the things I've caught her doing.
That is where paternity doubts definitely kick in. But baby mama defended herself like this.
A guy that loves you, why were you sending these pictures to these other guys?
To keep them interested.
Miss Holland, that exhibit was damaging, and you pretty much agreed to everything in it.
Because it's true, Your Honor.
So you know you basically just lit a match to your relationship.
I do, Your Honor, but at the same time, I've told him this never went any further than sexting, as he likes to call it.
After this, Mr. Holland pointed out that the baby doesn't look like him.
Family, very deep Irish family, and we all have really dark hair. He does look like his mother.
But I told you, he has your big old egg head. He has your forehead, your ears, your black eyelashes. That baby is yours.
Determined by this court. Mr. Holland, you are the father.
Mr. Grandmason's ex duped him into paternity, but now is denying his right to fatherhood.
Mr. Grandmason, you say the defendant told you were the father of her 9-month-old daughter, Mariah, only to take it back. You and your girlfriend are hoping today's results prove what you have always known. You are Mariah's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the trial started with the fact why Mr. Grandmason believed that he was the father.
He's been born off and on for the past 9 months. I'm literally the only father that she knows of.
And she's 9 months old.
Yes.
And you say you've been there through the entire process.
Pretty much.
As a father would be. And you truly believe this is your little girl.
Yes, Your Honor.
He told the court how special his bond with the baby girl was.
I was honestly happy and holding her. It felt.
Now you have a bond. I mean, I can see when you speak about her how.
I need to know the truth.
And those tears are because you're so fearful she is not?
Yes, Your Honor. I need to know the truth.
So let's go back to the part about how it all started.
I was on social media site and Mr. Grandmason contacted it and was like, hey, you're cute. And we hit it off and then we agreed to meet. And it went really great. Everything was awesome. After living together, that's when stuff started going downhill. He wasn't able to get to work and we were just fighting all the time.
And that ultimately led to what?
Me meeting the other man. I didn't tell the other guy right away or him. And I was like, well, I'm gonna make up an excuse to go to the hospital to get it confirmed because I don't want to freak people out if it's just a fluke.
So it wasn't a fluke. And here's what happened next.
Are you involved in the pregnancy? You found out?
I found out, yes, I was involved.
So you there through the whole pregnancy?
Off and on, yeah.
And so, Ms. Golder, if you know for certain he's not Mariah's biological father, why do you let him do all these things?
Because when I first found out I was pregnant, I was not certain at all.
After this, the potential father brought a calendar to court.
You presented a calendar to the court because you feel like the conception window adds up to you being Mariah's biological father. You say the window of conception would have been March 15th through the 21st. The question now becomes, when was the last time you and Ms. Golder were intimate?
The 17th
of
March.
Which falls smack dab in the middle of the window of conception.
And this smack dab calls for the next question.
Mr. Grandmason, on March 17th.
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
You were?
Yes.
Which makes him a very real possibility.
Yes.
Now, I must ask, when were you intimate with this other guy, the guy you're convinced is Mariah's biological father?
March 18th, 19th, and 20th, and 21st.
The day after I left.
Yes.
That's too close to call.
Imploring all of this judge's questions were directed at the baby's mother.
But I need to ask you this, and I need you to be honest. Do you really believe this other guy is Mariah's biological father, or is this just you manipulating him and his feelings because you feel like he was cheating on you?
At the time, yeah.
Isn't that a startling revelation?
Come on now, that's why I do this for a living.
At the time or still continuing?
There we go, that's the next question. So at the time, you were being manipulative.
Yeah, I
Because
was
you were
pissed off.
furious. So it started off as you being like, you know what? You don't want me, and you obviously don't want this baby. And so now, this baby ain't yours.
Correct.
Okay.
Which was just about enough to make the judge go like this.
The other guys, because I've talked to his family.
Oh, believe. Let's
I
write that
know.
word down. Believe. Believe has no scientific base. This assertion that you have come up with that he is not Mariah's biological father is not rooted in any scientific reasoning.
No, Your Honor.
It's just you deciding now he's not the dad.
Okay, let's just end this absurdness.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Grand Mason, you are not the father.
Give me a hug.
Stepping outside of your comfort zone as well, Miss Golder. So I was going to ask you